Dharma is not about justice. Then what Dharma is about? Dharma is about wisdom and empathy. Is the Veda asking you to become faithless? No, it is not asking you to become faithless. It is asking you to use the power which nature has given among all the living beings. Absence of Matsya is that the strong, powerful, they take it upon themselves. It is our responsibility to ensure that the weak, the marginalized, they will live with dignity. It is our responsibility. That is a dharmic samaj. Srimad Bhagavad Gita says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthintam parveshwaram vinashyatsva vinashyantam ya pashyati sa pashyati. As a human being, we have been exhorted to develop the capacity to see the Supreme Spirit, whom generally we call God, Bhagwan, Ishwar, whatever name you want to give. When we realize that that Supreme Spirit dwells in each being in the same way, Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, I am Atma Brahma. Atma itself is Brahma. The Paramatma in the form of Jivatma lives in each one of us. Try to learn as many languages as possible, because language is the most powerful medium to understand the mind of a people, mind of an individual, their cultural ethos, their moral values. Everything can be understood. Language is the most powerful weapon. I have always been of this view that dharma and religion must not be confused. We should not make mistake. We should not make mistake of equating the two. No, even in India, you can say we have what we call upasana paddhati, the way, manner in which people give expression to their faith and devotion. So we have multiple ways of giving expression. We have the concept of Kul Devta, Gram Devta, Devi on a higher scale. There were Vaishnavites, Shaivites, many other orders. They possibly can be described as sects because they mostly deal, or those who subscribe to them, they have affinity of belief as well as affinity of expression of that belief or expression of that devotion. But dharma is a totally different concept. If we read ancient Indian text, then a code of civilized human conduct, and the first progenitor of that code was supposedly Pirthu, King Pirthu, Raja Pirthu. That came to be known. In fact, there is another text, ancient text, Shatpat Brahmin. Shatpat Brahmin declares in unambiguous terms. Here in India, the manner in which things are described, very rarely definitions have been given. Symptoms have been described. These are the symptoms. Lakshan. From Lakshan you try to grasp or realize the reality. Because it is very difficult to bring these words, really do not have the capacity to capture the real essence of what is meant by these terms. Therefore, our thought leaders always went this way, that they described the symptoms. They mentioned the lakshan. And from that, you can develop an understanding that what a particular subject or particular name, what is the essence of that subject. So Shatpat Brahmin says that it does not say what dharma is or what a dharmic samaj is. It says a society in which Matsya Nyaya is absent is a dharmic samaj. So what is the quality? A society in which the law of jungle does not prevail. What does that mean? The law of jungle is that the strong eats up the weak. It devours the weak. Absence of Matsya Nyaya? Absence of Matsya Nyaya is that the strong, powerful, they take it upon themselves. It is our responsibility to ensure that the weak, the marginalized, they will live with dignity. It is our responsibility. That is a dharmic samaj. It has nothing to do with the religion. I mean, religion is fine. Nobody is trying to... I don't think Dr. Saab has tried to find fault with the religion. Religion is okay at the personal level. Achintay siya prame yasya nirgun siya sharirina upasaka namo siddhi artam brahmino roop kalpana. That supreme spirit, the supreme reality, the supreme truth, it is impossible to express it in logical propositions. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya mansa saha. When you try to do it, the words come back because they cannot grasp the wholeness, the comprehensiveness of that being. Therefore, our thought leaders, they said achinta is, in fact, not just achinta, agrahyam, alakshanam, achintayam, avyapadeshyam, pirpanchopashamam, satyam, jnanam, anantam, brahma, shantam, shivam, advaitam. You cannot capture that. It is not possible to give expression through words. It is beyond words, it is beyond comprehension, beyond understanding, beyond senses, beyond everything. Yet, because we are human beings even today are at the logical stage. We have traveled far, but we are still at the logical stage. Therefore, we are not the only living beings on this planet. There are so many other beings also. What is the difference? The nature has been kind enough to bless us with the power of imagination. And that imagination has empowered us, or rather obliges us to think beyond ourselves, to think beyond today, to think beyond the present life. What is the purpose of my birth? Why I am here on this planet? Why I have been... This whole world is big. Why most of us, there may be some other people also in this hall, why that Supreme Spirit has chosen that we should be born in India or born in Karnataka there is nothing without a purpose. Everything is with a purpose. You know, people sitting in this hall, they belong to various age groups. People who are sitting here on the stage, they have already gone through those various stages. There was a time when I was young like him. My school photographs are there. My university photographs are there. I was elected to the assembly when I had just completed 25 years. Nothing special. Nothing special. I'm only trying to bring home a point. It was not only that I was junior in age, but even body-wise, I was very lean and thin. I took the oath as minister before I took the oath as MLA. And then for at least next 2 months, every day on the gate, the watchman will stop me. Even on the gate of the chamber of the house, assembly where we sit. So it became a matter of habit with me to carry my identity card in my pocket. And then he used to salute me. So can I ask this question? I'm asking myself, you can ask yourself. The person that I was at the age of 25, if I showed, I was not even married at that time. If I showed that photo to my children, first time they were not able to recognize me. So it is only natural if I ask myself, where that Arif Mohammed Khan has disappeared, whom I see in this photograph. Today I am different. Where that man has disappeared. Every one of us can ask this question. And we have a reply here in our ancient text. Srimad Bhagavad Gita says, Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthintam parveshwaram vinashyatsua vinashyantam ya pashyati sa pashyati. First I will explain this shlok. And where does it lead us to? As a human being, we have been exhorted to develop the capacity to see the Supreme Spirit, whom generally we call God, Bhagwan, Ishwar, whatever name you want to give. When we realize that that Supreme Spirit dwells in each being in the same way, Ahem Brahmasmi Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, I am Atma Brahma. Atma itself is Brahma. The Paramatma in the form of Jivatma lives in each one of us. When we realize, when we have that realization, then what happens? Then we develop the capability to see the indestructible, avinashi, imperishable. Then we start seeing that imperishable in things which perish, the indestructible in things which ultimately face destruction. And that explains that I am different from what I was at the age of 25 years. But the Atma, Jivatma, or Paramatma in the form of Jivatma which dwells inside me, it does not change. Why it does not change? Because it is not born, therefore it does not die. Na jayate miryate va kadachit, naayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuya, ajo nitya shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Everything is undergoing change. Then what is permanent in this world? There is only one thing, and that is the Atma. And Atma is in the same measure. Swami Vivekananda ji says that the whole of Vedanta tells us that there is only one Supreme Spirit. And the Atma, I am aware that in Bhagavad Gita, the term Mame Vansho has been used. Mame Vansho Jiva Bhute Jiva Loka Sanatana. Yeah, I am aware. But Swami Vivekananda says that this Atma is not even ansh of that Supreme Being. It is that Supreme Being in full. This is what Swami Vivekananda says. I am being slightly a normal human weakness because I'm heading the Kerala family, therefore I'm mentioning Kerala. Shankaracharya belonged not only to India, he belonged to the whole humanity. But he was born in Kerala. Therefore I'm mentioning there's something which we feel proud of, that he was born in Kerala. What a beautiful description he has given. He says, Etavupadhi parajivo yotsayo. Etavupadhi parajiva yotsayo. Samyang nirase na parona jiva. Rajyam narendrase bhatatse khetka. Istayor pohe na bhato na raja. He says, Paramatma and Jivatma, these are only matters of title. And the simile which he gives to make comparison is that like there is a ruler. The word he has used is Raja. I would say in today's context, one who is entrusted with the authority. He has a title. He wears a certain kind of dress. And the man who is the watchman at his gate, he also has a title, watchman. And he also wears a uniform. Shankaracharya says, remove the title and the uniform, make them wear the same clothes, and then tell the difference. What is the difference between the two? The difference, I would say, between, not even, I should not use difference, but Dharma and religion, not just Judaism, Christianity and Islam. In India, we have so many punths. They also come in the same category. What is the difference? Dharma, our body of moral laws, they are all derived from Vedas. If we call it Vedic Sanskriti, then it is not exaggeration. The whole thing is based on the Vedas. Upanishads were also part of the Vedas, which is the theoretical or intellectual part of the considered part of the Vedas. Now Veda says, and Rig Veda, the first Veda, Iyam visirishtiriyat abhuv yadiva dadhe yadivana yo asya adhaksha parmo vyomantase angved yadivana ved. Karnataka, South India generally, they have many more Sanskrit scholars than the area or rather areas from which Balramji and I come. This is truth. Bangalore, Trivandrum, even Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, they have more Sanskrit scholars. So not very difficult to ask anybody what this shlok says. It says, how can you compare it with religion? Religion needs certainty, certitude. We believe in this. Here Rig Veda is saying, who has created this universe? Who is running this whole? Now though everybody knows, Vedas have that concept, that it is not a universe, it is multiverse. And Vedas have that concept. Who has created it? Who is running it? Does the one who is sitting somewhere up above there, does that one knows? Or even that one has no idea who has created it and who is running it? What is this? Is the Veda asking you to become faithless? No, it is not asking you to become faithless. It is asking you to use the power which nature has given among all the living beings, which nature has blessed only you with that power. And that is the power of brain. Think about it. Find out how this universe has come into existence. How the affairs of the universe are being conducted. Is it a creation, just a random creation, chance happening? Or there is a super mind working behind it? Find it out. So what it leads to? It leads to the fact that this dharma is essentially, if we use the word difference, it is not to run down any other thing, only to describe the quality. So this tradition is a speculative tradition. And tradition of religion is prescriptive tradition. Something has been prescribed. Not just synagogue, church and mosque. You go to the mandir. You can't, generally, you do not decide how I should offer my puja to my deity. You are told by someone else, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. Dharma does not believe in anybody, in one telling the other how to do it, how to approach your creator. This is what dharma is. Normally we attribute this statement to, actually it is a shlok, but I am going to use only 3 words. Apo Deepo Bhava. Be your own light. Do not accept anything on the authority of the other. This is attribute to Bhagwan Buddha, that when he was his last moments, somebody requested him, Lord, say some parting words so that we do not go astray. He said these 3 words. It is written everywhere. Apo Deepo Bhava. Do not accept anything even on my authority, that Buddha has said so. Find your own truth. Your own truth may be different from my truth. The freedom, the liberalism. And later I came to know, I read it and I was surprised. For many years I knew that these are the words of Buddha. But later I came to know that these are not just 3 words. These 3 words come from a shlok of Yajurveda. The Vedic tradition asks you, even otherwise, tapa swadhyaya niritam, ever devoted to the pursuit of knowledge. Generally people believe, and we have one school of philosophy in India, Charvak, who say there is no God, there is no punarjan, there is no consequences of karma, live happily, merrily, even if you have to borrow money from others and you don't have the capacity to pay back that money, borrow that money. We have one of the schools here, Charvak. In fact, I was reading that when Yudhishthir was reluctant after Mahabharata war was over, he was reluctant. He says that my hands are soaked with the blood of my relatives. How can I assume the responsibilities of the king? And first the four Pandavas, they tried to persuade him. Then ultimately Bhagwan Krishna himself gave him the advice. But all this was somebody who subscribed to the Charvak tradition. He came to know about it. So he shouted from a distance, Yudhishthir, don't listen to these people. There is nothing like God. There is no afterlife. no punarjanma. If you want to enjoy this world and you think that by becoming king you can become king, if you think by not becoming king you can enjoy more, then don't become king. So we have that school also. So basically the point I am making is that it is a speculative tradition. It does not bind you. It gives you freedom. It exhorts you to use your grey matter. Our thought leaders, that is the Vedic rishis, they were aware that human mind is a lazy organ. It does not work unless it is faced with challenges. It is very difficult for us to come to break the comfortable zone of our habits formed over a period of time. Therefore, those brilliant people, few thousand years back, everything they have said is so that our imagination can be ignited. We are forced to think. We are forced to apply our mind. We are forced to make our brain, lazy brain, active. If there are any doctors here, they must be aware that recently Harvard University Medical Journal, they have, not very recently, few years back, they have said it that because human mind is a lazy organ and it responds only to challenges, therefore to prevent lazy things, they start decaying. And so many people today are suffering from mental problems, age-old related mental problem, which is called dementia, Alzheimer. And Harvard paper says that if you know more than 2 languages, if you learn more than 2 languages, then there is very little possibility of your suffering in old age with any mental ailment. And the explanation which they have given is that you have 2 parts of the mind, conscious mind and subconscious mind. If you know more than 2 languages, one language in which you are talking, you are having conversation with somebody. The unconscious mind is simultaneously translating into the other 2 languages, and thus it keeps your mind active. This research is only few years old, but somebody in Karnataka said it more than 1,000 years back. More than 1,000 years. Here in Karnataka. Sarvagyam tad aham vande paranjyotish tapo aham. Pirvirtayan mukhad devi sarv bhasha saraswati. He said, try to learn as many languages as possible because language is the most powerful medium to understand the mind of a people, mind of an individual, their cultural ethos, their moral values, everything can be understood. Language is the most powerful weapon. Name of the, it is only written there in a Kannada text of 6th century. So it is more than 1400, more than 1400 years. Name of the rishi who must have written it, that name is not given there. So what Harvard is finding today, I mean, we can feel proud of these things, that what science is finding today, many of those things were revealed to us much earlier. It is a matter of pride, but at the same time, it is a matter of shame also for us. We can feel proud of our cultural heritage, but at the same time, we must have a profound sense of shame that we have not proved ourselves as the worthy inheritors of that legacy. It is other people who are the thoughts which India gave. We should have gone ahead on that, but somehow because we accepted religion to be the genuine translation of Dharma, and religion means when we will transform Dharma into religion, then religion is a prescriptive thing. There is no need to apply your mind. No need to labor. Someone else will tell me what to do. That is the greatest loss which we have suffered, because we accepted religion to be the authentic translation of Dharma. They are 2 different concepts. Absolutely different. So many books on the Dharma is not there is a Sanskrit shlok which says that when you look from the distance, it looks like a solid rock. But when you come close to it, in fact, a Hindi poet has said it more beautifully. He said, Ram, Maryada Purushottam, Ek Bani, Ek Vachni, Ek Patni, Krishna, Leela Purushottam, Makhan Chor, Chit Chor, Ran Chor. He used to, as a child, used to steal butter. As a young man, used to steal hearts. And later, 17 attacks on Mathura. He successfully defended Mathura 16 times. 17th time, he fled from Mathura to Dwarka. When Jarasandh had posted, the name given it is very important at Mahabharata time. The name of the general who was leading the forces of Jarasandh was Kala Yavan. It means the presence of the Greeks was there at the time of Mahabharata. He was the general of the army of Jarasandh, father-in-law of Kans. And now we need to ask this question. Both are avatar of Vishnu. Why this difference between the one is a stickler for rules? He had not given his word that I will go to the forest. If word was given, it was given by his father. And the father who had given the word wanted him to say no. Told him that I have given the word, you have not given the word. You can refuse to go. No, I will honor your word. Maryada Purushottam. Ready to suffer any consequences. To uphold what you have committed. Not even you have committed, your father had committed. One. So, Ek Bani, Ek Patni, totally committed to his one wife. Ek Bani, Ek Vachni, Ek Patni. Yes. And Krishna Leela Purushottam. He stole hearts of everybody. He stole butter from every milk pot. And then finally deserted from the battlefield. Both are avatars. And in fact, he is considered 18 कलाओं के अवतार, भगवान कृष्ण 16 कलाओं के, और भगवान राम कम हैं. I mean, he is, अच्छा कलाओं में मत जाइए, don't go into कला. He is considered Purna Avatar or Purna Purush. Then how come this difference? That explains the difference between Dharma and religion. Sanatan Dharma, it is not only Sanatan Dharma. Dharma has another, not connotation, another branch also. Yug Dharma, Kal Dharma, Desh Dharma. There are so many. Then if you come to that Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna, Pardharmo Swanushritat, Swadharme Nidhanam Shreya Pardharmo Bhayavaha. Each individual's dharma is different. Dharma is not one blanket or one coat which everyone should wear. Under different circumstances, the demands of dharma change. That is what is called complexity of dharma. And this is what was explained by Lord Krishna to Yudhishthir when he was hesitant to take over as king after Mahabharata. He said, who is more suited to become the king than you? You gambled away your kingdom. Therefore, you can sympathize with the imperfections of man. Now you are a changed person. You have evolved after 14 years. But since you have committed that blunder, you gambled away your kingdom, you gambled away your wife. Therefore, you can have a sympathetic attitudes toward those who suffer from imperfections. And human beings do suffer from imperfections. We are not perfect beings. And likewise, he gave so many arguments that you did this, and then now you have realized that this was wrong. Therefore, you can have an attitude of sympathy and empathy. In fact, the second retelling of Mahabharata, when Parikshat dies of snake bite and Janmejaya organizes Sarp Satta, that is a yag to eliminate all these snakes. Then Astik, a Naga, whose mother was Naga but father was a human rishi, he calls out and says to Janmejaya, what you are committing is adharma. And Janmejaya replies, what do you mean I am committing adharma? My father has been killed. I am doing it for justice. Then, no, these are very important words. Then Astik says to Janmejaya, Janmejaya, you have inherited the kingdom of the Pandavas, but you have not inherited the wisdom of the Pandavas, wisdom which was given by Lord Krishna, not the wisdom when they gambled away their kingdom and wife, but later part. That you have not inherited. And listen to these words carefully. Dharma is not about justice. He said, what are you saying? Dharma is not about justice? Yes, Dharma is not about justice. Then what Dharma is about? Dharma is about wisdom and empathy, compassion. Because if you come to do justice, do you think anybody will be spared? Therefore, he tells him that Dharma is about wisdom. And Dharma is about compassion. Have compassion for everybody. That is what Dharma is about. Dharma is not even about justice. Swami Vivekananda, I had just mentioned about Charvak Darshan. Out of 6 schools of philosophy, we have only one school of philosophy which believes in that. But world over, people believe that the purpose of human life is pursuit of happiness. When this was mentioned before Swami Vivekananda, he said, no. The purpose of life cannot be pursuit of happiness. Then what it is? He said, purpose of life is not pursuit of happiness, it is pursuit of knowledge. Because if pursuit of happiness is the summum and bonum of your life, of my life, I am powerful. Who will prevent me from making others unhappy in order to secure more happiness for myself? Who will stop me? This is what has happened. The history is full of these things only. Human beings cannot live in isolation. They need a society. And when it is a society, then we want to dominate over others. We want to exploit others. How to stop that tendency, inbuilt human psyche to dominate over others? How to stop it? The only way, Swami Vivekananda says, is pursuit of knowledge. What knowledge? Then the question was asked, and what is the purpose of knowledge? The purpose of knowledge is to find unity, underlying unity in the face of apparent diversity. All these people who are sitting in this hall, no two faces are alike. Even if there are 2 brothers from the same parents, they do not look alike. One who develops the capacity to see the underlying unity behind this diversity, that is the purpose of knowledge. Yada bhuta pirthak bhava mekasthamano pashyati tat evacha vistaram brahma sampadiyate tata. One who develops the capacity that each one of us is only an extension of the Brahma, is only an expansion of Brahma, and Brahma is present in each one of us. And one who has reached the stage of that realization, Brahma sampadiyate tada, that person, herself or himself, becomes one with Brahma. That is what Dharma is about. So therefore I would conclude with a small anecdote which really tells you the essence of Dharma. It's short anecdote from Upanishad. The disciples asked the Rishi, what are the essentials of good life? How we can live a good life? When the question was asked, the sky was overcast with clouds. At that time there was thunderclap. Da, da, da. So Rishi told the disciples, have you got the answer? Sir, you have not spoken yet. No, but the answer has come from the skies. What is the answer? Da, da, da. Listen carefully. If you really want to live a successful life, this, to my mind, is the essence of Dharma. If you want to live a really happy life, successful life, the words used there are good life. Successful and other thing I have used. There the words used is happy life. Essentials for a happy life. Because material prosperity does not bring kind of peace and happiness which is essential. There are many other things also. So he says the answer has come. The first da means damyat. Tade tade vesha devi vagnu vatadi istana yitnur da 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 iti damyat datta daya dhua biti. First da is damyat. You should have total control over your own senses, your desires. Indriya nigraha. Dam. If you want to live a civilized life, then first thing is that we all of us have desires, but desires, we can't give free rein to our desires. We have to remain within the limits of Maryada to attain our goals, attain our desires. So the first basic principle is Dham, self-control. In Arabic, because you have used that, Arabic it is called Zabt-e-Nafs, apne nafs par, to control your own self. Second is Datta, learn, cultivate the habit of sharing your blessings with others. Whatever you are endowed with, whatever you are blessed with, share it with others, particularly those who are less endowed. You are doing no favor to them. You are favoring yourself. Because we believe in the principle of karma. What goes around, comes around. So second is datta. And third is daya dhua miti. Compassion, empathy. What is that? When someone else is in pain, you feel the pain of the other. You should try to share that pain of the other. That is called compassion. Sharing your things with others is dhan. And sharing the pain of others is daya, compassion. This, I think, this short, very small story, it sums up the essence of the Dharma. And I wish that not only these people who are present in this hall, but this book will become real source of benefit to our people. Our Prime Minister is repeatedly saying that we should be more aware of our cultural heritage. We should be proud of our cultural heritage. This awareness and pride can come only if we acquire basic knowledge about our culture and cultural heritage. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.